You see how these candles are telling a story. And not just any old story. I mean, it's telling about the pressure, the price, and the purpose. Like, where is this candle sitting right now? And what are some, if this or that, then this could possibly happen to help us guide us on our journey. And so it's really important to step back in trading and investing and not just be in chasing mode. Because I know how I am. I'm very ambitious. I am very creative, and I love helping others to be able to put systems and things around their business. But what comes down to it is I can often get caught up in it and just wanting to do so much that I just step back sometimes and be like, let me just watch for a minute before I just insert myself in something. Right. That God doesn't want me to do. So that's the same thing when we are taking our entries. We want to make sure that we really are letting price the story develop and tell the story. That's why I do like trading. I do like sticking to one or a few instruments. And so let me actually move this over. I will go on here and look up other charts and things like that. But when it comes time to just really learning it, find one that you can stick with and ride up, down, and maybe even do a vertical in the middle. So anyway, whole nother conversation. But all right, so let's look at what is going on the chart right now. All right, so I'm gonna go to the 15-minute. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go back to the daily, and what we can see is it is 12:56 p.m. So we're coming out of lunchtime, and price is at 242.88. So one of my thoughts when I was trading this morning was that I was gonna take it down to the 143-ish area, and I actually did, but price started to bounce. It got to my risk tolerance because I'm in a smaller account for this one, and I wanted to make sure that I just locked in those profits, and then if I saw another entry I could potentially get in. I also have my long-term account that I'm doing other strategies in. So you got to know what you're trading and what makes the most sense for you. One of the things I am doing is, and before I say that, remember, this is not financial advice. This is not advice on where to enter is helping you think logically about your trades. So I am Denisha on a mission, helping leaders, entrepreneurs, founders, those on a mission for God, learn how to trade in the on the charts, and then also to read price action in the charts, and then to learn how to package your skill and trade in the marketplace. So now you're creating wealth from both spectrums, right? You're using your brain, you're using what God gave you, you're also using these opportunities that come up in the market, and you're being able to be in the marketplace both ways. So I'm teaching you that. And so welcome to Trade Vine. Now we're at 242.94. So we can see that price is coming up to this level. So it's going to be interesting seeing once it gets to 243.33 area. And if it actually rejects, I am looking for the next 4-hour candle to see how it reacts as well. So if we go down to the 5-minute, we are now above this 9 EMA. So I did get in this price action earlier today. I did take a trade. And so the two things we could talk about in this video are the non-EMA and the VWAP. The VWAP is going to be a like it's more like a middle place. It's where price often comes to. It's like a magnet. And then we also have where institutions and hedge funds, and then they're gonna watch that because if price flips VWAP and holds there, it can often be a springboard, a support area to now reverse the trend. And so this non-EMA, I pretty much rode this, but it came to a spot where I did not want to risk more. So once it hit actually I set a trail stop, but then I let it go. I canceled it because I was like, nah, I just don't even want to risk that. It's at that level. I met my goal. I'm done for the day, right? So now it is about coming and just watching what actually happened. What could I have done better? What do I see? Right now we see that price did come above this 9 EMA, which could indicate a shift in the momentum because price was coming down, it kept pulling back, but it rallied at a couple. So this could have been an entry once it came back down. I mean, once it started to come back down, that could have been an entry. And then we can see now that price rejected here. Now, if I come on here and I add, I'm going to edit studies, I'm in Thinkorswim. So if I add the moving average exponential, which is the 9, we're going to do the 9, no, we're going to do the 21 EMA. And I'm going to actually change it to pink. That's what I have pink for the 21. We can see here price came to the 21, which is often if you pair it with the 9, it could be an opportunity for a retest to see a retest. So with it rejecting off the 21, that could have been an opportunity to get in, and that was 244.11 down to a one of the 4-hour supports that's right here, which is around 242.30. And then now we started trading in consolidation. So that would have been an indication. Oftentimes people will say like avoid the chop, avoid consolidation. But if you do find yourself in consolidation, you actually have some time to just think this through, right? Because if it blasts, when it comes out of consolidation, sometimes it blasts, sometimes it doesn't. It's going up or down. And there's some clues right here in consolidation. We see that there's a higher low form, but then we see these lower highs. I mean, right, lower lows, a lower low, right? So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll stay here, but I'm still at this area of support, which was from a 4-hour support that I found that I thought would be helpful here in this particular trade for me today. And then it actually bounced from here, and now we're here. So with this 9 EMA, if it flips it and holds, that could be an indication. Or do you wait to then 21? But these are large things that you have to be talking through, because if you were here and you were already up, why not just take profit? Especially if you got a 0 DTE, why not just take profit? I think about the trades that I've taken. If I would have just took profit, even if it was only 10%, 8%, 5%, depending on when you entered. But I entered early on this trend. And so that would have been by the time I got out, I was at like 93% on this trade for this morning. So that would have been another 50% trade on top of that, right? So just think about like what contracts are you in? What is your strategy? And match that. Because oftentimes the move is going to be made. You'll hear people say, oh yeah, it's going to. Look, I know eventually it's going. Like I knew today that it's going to 241.40 at some point, whether it's today or tomorrow, because the market is going to do what the market wants to do. The market cares nothing about you, your money, and it wants your money. And you're in here because you want money, but there's a lot of tricks, there's a lot of manipulations, there's a lot of stuff going on. And so ask me how I know. Whole other conversation. But one of the things I was looking for, let's see, we got here. It started to come back here. I was looking at about 130 and see where it's at that time. But now it's starting to come back down to 242.40. But this morning I said, oh yeah, it's coming down. So you'll be able to see what can happen, but does your contract align up with you being able to capture that move? And then along the way, are you locking in profits, whether it's just having a stop, a limit stop, a market stop, a trail stop? Like, are you able to lock in profit so when the trade actually does reverse, which one at some point is going to reverse, then you would have locked in some profits, or just take all the profits, right? So I this morning I came to my area and I got out. I had trailed a little bit, but then it was fine. And I'm like, let me just take my trail stuff off and I'm gonna be my manual stuff. I do not suggest that for most people, because Most of the time, we say, "Oh yeah, no, let me wait." Let me show you. So if I'm here and I say, "Okay, my stop was gonna be here," and I say, "You know what? Let me wait until the 21 EMA." Well, now that's about a 60 cent range. No, 60 cents. So 60 points. So does that matter to you, right? So then you say, "Okay, well, it came above here from, let's see, 41 to 94, right?" So then, okay, oh man, now you're hoping that it rejects this 21, but you might be okay. Your risk tolerances might be okay for this dollar something, right? So you got to determine what makes the most sense for you, and just know that the market can turn anytime it wants to. And so we can see how the 21, this is showing over the last 21 days where price most often came, and the exponential is capturing a bigger part of that move, more expanded move than the simple. So if we come and we add the simple on here, the, the simple moving average, we're going to do the 9, and it's the same color. Let's just make it that color for now. Okay, so we see that the simple, it's pretty close, right? So again, these indicators are not meant to be the be all end all. It's just helping you indicate what price is doing. But if you watch the candles, know your support levels, that's going to be key. And so we saw that it did reject off here, which could have been a good entry to finish off, because eventually it's coming down to this 40, where we at? And it actually already came down here, but most likely it's gonna come back down and bounce. But we'll see. Or it can come here. We'll see if it can't get back above 243.29. So as a recap, we want to make sure that we are just taking time to just watch how price moves. I am in my simulator account now. And so just think about what makes the most sense for you in terms of strategy for what indicators you're using or not using, your strategy, the contracts that you're getting, and think about what makes the most sense for the move that you're making right now. And then also be content with the profits that you make, because you're learning every day, you're going to capture some big moves. It's coming. And you're also going to miss some big moves. You're also going to miss some moves. That's coming too. But just think about just being in and being consistent and continuing to refine your strategy, continuing to check yourself and the things that you're doing, continuing to protect profit and accept profit when you see it. Because there's somebody who was in a call that's still holding this, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna average down. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get back in, and it's gonna come back up because overall, if we go to the weekly, overall, we are on this uptrend, right? We're on this uptrend. So overall, we're on an uptrend. So somebody could just be like, I'm just gonna hold. But again, what is your strategy and what makes the most sense? We can see here when we zoom out and get this bigger picture view that it bounced off of this 20, off the VWAP on the weekly, and it still has the upward trend, right? The bullish trend. So we're gonna see, but here, especially if it breaks, it would have to break about right here. And this could be a bounce zone. We also have to be mindful of CPI, other data that hasn't been released yet. If it is released this week, if we do get the rate cuts next week, we could definitely see more upside, especially IWM, small caps. But we'll see. So this is a if this then that, and then you have a plan based on if this and that and your levels and confirmation to be able to execute it. So I'm gonna go back down to the 5 minute and see what's happening. So right now we are under the 9 EMA. The wick is holding right here. The VWAP and 9 cross. Yep, yep, yep. And we see it. So it still has that bearish pressure. So we like the trend is down. So if you're gonna do a counter, let it prove to you why you're doing a counter. And like something like here was it could have been a counter, but then this is a quick in and out if it rejects, which it did shortly after on the next 5-minute candle. So the candles are telling us the story is there, is if we want to see it or not. So anyhow, I'm Denisha on a mission. We just went through several things because the purpose of this video is just to think about what's going on. There's so many other layers to this, but I wanted to give you just kind of like a raw look. It's 1:09 p.m. Lunchtime is over. We're gonna see, does 242.25 actually hold up as support? Because as you saw on the weekly, the overall trend is still up. Is this a setup for a run back to all-time highs and beyond all-time highs? And if that is the case, we will be seeing it because price is gonna let us know that. So what's your next move? All right, so I am Denisha on a mission helping you learn how to read the charts to navigate the market, but then also to learn how to build your skill and package it so that you can trade that in the market. And now you're getting both, okay? And even more, God got so much for you. We have to make sure that we are strengthening our skills with this because there's a lot of manipulation and tactics, and you're gonna lose some trades, right? But the thing is, we got to keep our risk management tight so that our stops are small. I mean, our what we risk is small enough that makes sense for our overall goals and our account. Because it's easy to blow account. Ask me how I know. Okay. Okay. So all right. Have the best amazing day. Go ahead and practice. Once again, I am in my simulator account. This is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. And again, it's to help you learn how to read the charts. Guys got big plans for you. Don't get lost in the weeds of this. Trade, get off, and go trade in real life with your skill. All right, I'll talk to you later. All right, like, comment, add your, things below, and we'll go from there. This is Denisha with Trade Vine.